Ahoy, and welcome to the Couch Company podcast. He's John Perez. I'm Tyler DeFazio, and you are listening to episode 30.
3-0.
3-0. Hi, John.
Hey, Tyler.
How was that?
That was great. And folks, just so you know, Tyler has a super deep, sexy voice today. Didn't want it to go to waste. Let him do the intro.
Use it. Yeah.
You had to use it. And I loved it. And I think everyone else is going to love it too.
It's like a mini cold, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing serious.
No.
It's just like the normal everyday, like
right.
You wake up, little trouble breathing.
Yeah.
I can't taste anything. But aside from that, it's overall not a bad deal.
Dude, I love it because you get up, your low range becomes like half an octave lower.
Right.
And hey.
I was talking like Master Chief this morning.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I liked your shark bit.
My
emoji.
shark? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Is that what that's called?
Sure.
Bitmoji?
It's a memoji.
Memoji. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm such a boomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even my dad knows a memoji, though.
That means I'm not a boomer, though. I'm too cool for that.
Too cool for the...
Nobody cool uses those. I'm sorry. Like,
apparently, Facebook has
exactly.
a
Nobody's on
portrait of you.
Facebook.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
Like they're very bad.
Not till we get to the metaverse, though.
That's true. Then everybody just is, I guess, themselves.
Speaking of metaverse and enlightened states, I think I've reached a new level of zen when I was just at Sheets like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, naturally. Okay. I mean, that's when everybody does that, but go on.
So I just hit the gym, okay? And I'm really tired, so I'm sitting...
You were looking a little swole coming in.
Thank you.
That's the right term, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm at Sheets. I'm a little flustered now. I don't know how to take that. But
I'm sorry.
I'm at Sheets in line, and I'm like pretty exhausted. And so, normally you just zone out.
Sure.
But I reached a different stage. I swear. You ever see Charlie Brown?
Way back. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you know how all the parents are trombones?
Yeah.
I swear to God, everyone sounded like a trombone. Like
that's
people were talking around me. It's like
probably not healthy though, right?
No, but maybe I've like reached nirvana. Maybe that's what it is.
Nirvana is not being able to understand anyone around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cut out all the bullshit.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I don't know. Maybe I'm having a stroke.
I think you worked out too hard.
Maybe, dude.
That's kind of what
it was. Pretty weird though. I swear it was just for a second. It was like wah. And I was like,
so what got you back into the reality? Someone called your number.
Wait, there's not a trombone in here.
Oh, okay.
Somebody called my number. No, I didn't have a number. I just got a Red Bull. They give you wings, but they don't actually give you wings because they got sued for that.
Do you? Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Do you use like the self checkout?
No, I don't have a Sheets card. Like I was going to.
You don't need a Sheets card.
Oh fuck!
See, everyone says that when I ask them. You never need a Sheets card
because I always hear it says, "Please scan your Sheets card."
Yeah. Well,
what a bait.
But with and I think I could be wrong here, but I think Giant Eagle makes you use their Giant Eagle card. So that's what I think they condition people.
But I always put my dad's number in there. I don't know if my dad has a Sheets card. I should try it next time.
Just giving him all the gas.
Yeah, I do. I'm the great dude. If anyone needs the hookup, I'm your guy. I never like getting any cards for some stupid reason. I literally don't have any good reason.
Sure.
But I'll put all my friends' cards. I'll give them free points because I go all the time. Sheets, Giant Eagle. We're from Pennsylvania, so
yeah,
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Whenever we used to do the Steel City Con, I would rack up so many points like over the course of the year that like we would go to Sheets on the way to like Monroeville.
Oh yeah,
and I would just get a free coffee like every day. Like it's still.
Are we going to Steel City Con?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Sunday.
Yeah. I might buy something.
What do you want to buy at a Steel City Con? Like a statue?
No.
Shirt?
Like a portrait?
Like a portrait?
Not a portrait, but like a... What does Kyle make? A frame?
Oh, like a canvas.
Print? Yeah.
Canvas.
Canvas.
Yeah, canvas print. There's
Something
metal prints. He has metal prints. He has mugs.
Some light.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah, he has everything. He's
I told him to go for the anime biddies, but he didn't... He still has his soul. He couldn't sell his soul, man. I really wanted him to just do it.
So Zach just texted me before he got here, and he was like, "Okay, so this little kid walked by and saw this.
Don't like where this is going already. But
no, I know, right?
Yeah.
And saw the print of Kratos, right? So Kyle does like a big Kratos canvas,
yeah,
and print, I assume. And this kid points. He's like, he's from Fortnite.
Oh no!
Now I'm usually fine with stuff like that, like more or less, but that even kind of hurt a little bit where it's like, yikes. Okay. I mean, but and we were talking about this last night.
Well, you always make that joke.
Yeah.
You're always like, oh, Master Chief, he's from Fortnite. Like,
yeah. But
that's the reality of it.
It really is.
And it crushes me.
I mean, if you're a kid, you don't have an Xbox, you never played Halo.
No.
That's your only hit.
That's your only hit.
Is Fortnite.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't wait. I guess Spider-Man's too big for that.
I would hope they know.
Maybe
they see Marvel movies, of course they.
Yeah, like Aloy and stuff would be from Fortnite.
Tobey Maguire, that's not Spider-Man to them, but it'll always be Spider-Man to me.
How do you bring in like a Marcus Phoenix, a Kratos? Like those are like very M-rated.
Yeah,
like you're chainsawing dudes in
yeah.
half.
Well, yeah, definitely. But I mean, the game already has guns in it. It's pretty, 1-to-1 in terms of that.
So. There's no blood.
Dude, watching Marcus like build a tower real quick would look so strange.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe not Marcus, actually. That's a bad point because that just kind of reminds me of Horde mode a little bit. But someone like Master Chief,
just super,
would look
super
really
nimble.
strange.
My thing with this, and I don't think we give Fortnite enough credit. And I know we talked about this yesterday. So,
dude, fuck Fortnite.
I'm going to be referencing it last night a lot. We watched the Game Awards. So
Game Awards
we'll
were yesterday, right?
But when you look at what Fortnite does, they go a step further, right? So they have Sony properties, Microsoft properties, Marvel, Disney, all that stuff together, right?
Yeah, right.
But they don't stop there. Like Rocket League has that stuff too.
Yeah.
But Rocket League is gated, right? So like you can't have your Sweet Tooth car outside of like PlayStation. But you can with
I see
Fortnite.
What you're saying, right.
And then the other thing is like if you have like a Batmobile from like say Rocket League.
Yeah.
You can't edit your Batmobile. Like you can't put like a halo on your an actual angel halo on your Batmobile.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Fortnite, it's freaking Master Chief doing like the chicken dance.
I know.
And
blasphemy.
And it's like fine.
No,
so you're gonna have like
fine.
Batman super but I'm saying like somehow the people that gave up that property, like I would love to know how much money they're getting
because
for
dude,
that.
we talk about Whiteboard Room all the time.
Right.
They're sitting in there crunching numbers, dude.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Crunch. And they're determining that the exposure from Fortnite is worth the fucking soul selling that they have to do to let Master Chief do the chicken dance.
It works.
Absolutely it works. That's what I'm saying.
A kid that can't play an M-rated God of War game
still knows Kratos, and then once he grows up and actually grows a brain, then he'll be like, oh man, God of War is
the best games ever made.
The best game ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
Yikes.
dude. I don't like it at all.
I don't like it.
And there's anime. Dude, there's anime in it. Like Naruto's in it and fucking
I forgot about that. That was recent. Yeah.
Yeah, Naruto. Is he the only one? Is there Goku in it or someone?
No, they have a couple like
Demon Slayer? What's his name?
I don't know, anime people.
I can't believe I can't remember his name.
The funny thing is, like, the actual characters from Fortnite are still just as popular. Like, people are like,
yeah.
oh, like, whenever I log in, it's like, oh, you're going, like, old school with that guy. It's like, yeah, this is literally the only character. Like,
yeah, but you're like the cool guy.
I got it in a Twitch drop that no one else can get. Yeah. So, like, yeah, of course I break out, like, the old school, like, stuff.
Man.
Yeah,
I like that. Dude,
anyway.
I can't believe you've played Fortnite. That's crazy.
I mean, to be fair, I havened played it in quite some
time. I remember, dude, you wanted us to play Fortnite.
I did.
Like, originally when it was a Horde game.
I wanted to play Fortnite, like, real Fortnite, where it's like, hey, it's a Horde mode, and you build forts.
Dude, imagine if it was like a stock and you invested in it. You're like, guys, this stock looks pretty cool. Even though like they did something completely different. But
it's still, yep.
That would be so awesome.
Imagine having like epic stock.
Yeah. Oh my God. Epic stock.
Yeah, Epic's publicly traded. I would assume.
Well, now definitely, but
yeah.
I'd have to assume. But dude.
Speaking of Epic,
I was just going to say.
I was going to say, that's the segue.
Yeah.
Game Awards
that's
2021.
You like Subway?
It's okay. I miss Quiznos.
Quiznos is better.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this one sandwich from Quiznos once. It was like a breakfast sandwich. It was like pancakes and sausage. And yeah.
Okay.
On a bun.
Oh, the pancake wasn't the bun?
It was in the bun. It was the weirdest thing. But I was like 8. And I loved it.
Like a fever dream.
Because it might have been, dude. I mean, I'm hearing tremendous. Who knows what's wrong with me? But there was syrup on it, man. I'm telling you.
All right. I mean, I like a Taco Bell breakfast thing. I don't even know if they still do that.
Dude, everyone was telling me Taco Bell is like the best breakfast, but I refuse to believe that it's better than McDonald's.
McDonald's is the best breakfast.
Right?
Yeah, Taco Bell is
steak, cake, and cheese bagel?
They don't do that anymore.
Yes,
that was
do.
my favorite.
No, they brought it back.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
So
during the quarantine, they did limit it the menu, but now it's back fully. Maybe not at all locations, but definitely like McKnight and.
So, did I tell you about the gift that Chelsea gave me whenever we first started dating? So,
you told me about the other one.
So she gave me this coupon book, right?
Kind of weird.
And it's like
one of those fundraiser ones with 1 million coupons.
No, it's just like different things that
like
do, right? So
like a homemade one.
Like so it's like here's a coupon, like I'll give you a kiss, or I'll give you like a back rub or something.
PG,
I said PG.
PG,
but one of them was I will give you a steak, egg, and cheese bagel in bed. Now it's not. There's no specification that it's a McDonald's.
Oh,
but now that I found out that there is a steak, egg, and cheese bagel at McDonald's.
Oh, so you still have this thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And here's the best part.
That's the easiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
So the best part is if she like I can make her. So she has one that's like I'll do anything as long as it's like not embarrassing or something.
Okay.
So I could be like, oh, I want you to go get me a pint of ice cream from wherever.
Right.
But she didn't think this, and she's probably awake right now listening to this. And
she's fucked, dude.
But she also put a coupon in there that I have a free win any argument.
What?
Yeah. So what I can do is I'll be like, all right, I want a steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
Is there any stipulation on that one?
There's no asterisk. So it's like I put that down, and she's like, well, no, I don't want to get it for you. I'm like, well, I think you should. And she's like, well, I don't think I should. I'm like, and then clearly there's an argument there.
Yep.
Then I slam granted, I have to burn 2 coupons, but I think it'll be worth it.
That's the worst use of that I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, but there's probably
you could literally save it for the most life-altering argument of your life and just slam that thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like anything important though.
Wow, I don't know.
Maybe not be resolved. It's
either she does, you win the argument, or she's not a woman of her word.
Nothing good can come of
that. What good comes from any of my ideas? Honestly,
that's all right. Really clear. At the end of the day, as long as I'm in bed with a steak, egg, and cheese bagel,
I don't think I could eat a steak, egg, and cheese bagel in bed, dude.
No, I wouldn't. I just need it delivered to me in bed, and then I will get up.
I didn't even want it delivered to me, dude. There'd be like grease dripping on the bed.
See, I'm a man of my word. Where like if you're going by the coupon, it's delivered to you in bed.
Yeah, well, you better be fucking careful because there's one drop of grease on that bed.
I know.
Heads will roll.
I know. Although we need a new bed. We're getting rid of that one. It's really bad. Yeah, I haven't had a good night's sleep in forever.
Sorry, dude. Speaking of good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep last night because it was the Game Awards.
Man, that's a good segue.
I'm good at dude. Anything you give me anything, I'll segue into the Game Awards.
Games, can we just jump to the best part about the entire?
Absolutely.
Final
Korean.
Oh. I'm sorry. Korean what?
No, the Final Fantasy. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
No, Final Fantasy 7. We will get to that.
Please, nobody look up what I was talking about.
Final Fantasy 7 coming to PC. Epic Store, I guess exclusively the Epic Store for a time.
Epic Store for a time, yeah.
That's on par with like Kingdom Hearts and other Final Fantasies. I don't know if
Kingdom Hearts is going to come. Well, probably eventually, right?
I'm sure it will. But anyway, like Square Enix, there's some
connections there. Well,
like
Epic
there.
helped develop some of that stuff. So maybe specifically Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if they touched anything with Final Fantasy, like the remake. But
it's all that juicy contract, they just kind of put all
juice,
what do they call it in pork and the pork? That's a Washington.
That's
thing.
a Washington thing.
I don't know.
Washington football team
comes out in less than a week, Thursday.
Yeah, so next Thursday,
December 16th.
6 days.
So the funny thing is, I'm actually off that day.
That's so awesome. I'm fucking jealous.
I have no serendipity, hardcore.
I have no days off left, but I'm sure I'll just play it.
Dude, I have that day off, and then I have the 22nd through the end of the year off.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm so jealous.
And then I have another 5 weeks next year.
What?
Yeah. So I have 4 because I carry one over from this year.
Yeah.
I have my standard 3, and then because I'll hit 10 years with a company, they give me another week.
How good do you think this game's going to look?
Well, see, that's the thing that I'm worried about is
so
I think
it's on Unreal
on you.
4.
Yes.
It's
Unreal 4 looks fantastic.
Now, I know that the original game, when it was on PS4, was 30 frames. Obviously, this one's going to be 60.
Oh,
plus.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be. I think it's 60 on PlayStation
5.
Do
they cap games on PC? Or I'm really showing my ignorance here.
No, sometimes
that's
do.
what I was thinking. Spyro wasn't one of them, though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
No. So you can definitely put an artificial cap on it.
Right.
Basically, if you release,
I don't know why you'd ever do that, by the way.
I mean, if your computer can't run it well, and it's going from like 30 to 50 to 30 to 40 to whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Just capping it at 30 makes it stable.
I would much
rather
60,
play at 30.
You're good. That's usually like the...
Usually, but if you drop to 60 after you've been playing it like 90, you still get that kind of stuttering, and it still doesn't feel good. So I would much rather play at a lock 60.
Spyro like fucking 150.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And the thing is with that, though, if you release a PC game and technically from like, I don't know, 2016 on.
Yeah.
And you do not have an unlocked frame rate, people do not appreciate that.
As hell for that. But so this one should be uncapped and look pretty good, I would imagine. Because they updated, so they ported it to PS5, so there was a update there.
Yeah.
So obviously that should be the same version they're carrying over to the PC, I would imagine, right?
I would, in Digital Foundry, I'm sure it's going to do some sort of breakdown on it, but like I'm sure it's going to look even better than PS5.
I think it's going to look good,
especially on your system. Like you have top of the line.
Not quite, almost.
Well, Mike has top of the line. It's kind of weird.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a 3090.
He has a 3080 Ti though.
That's better than a 3090.
Depending on the application, technically, it's like a 1% to 2% difference. Sure, you might squeak out a little extra frame rate that you will never be able to tell. But yeah, I don't know.
That one.
But that was the main thing. I'm very excited for that. There's a whole bunch of announcements.
I don't think that was the most popular announcement because I was actually going through the IGN videos. You know how they release all like the trailers and stuff?
Yeah.
The day after. Final Fantasy was like one of the lowest. It was like 60K.
What was one of the highest ones?
Well, right next to it was Horizon, which was like 500,000.
Yeah.
Even The Matrix was a couple 100,000.
Well, The Matrix was cool because they came out with some sort of like Unreal Engine 5 demo. You can just download immediately.
Oh, wow.
It's on PS5 and Xbox SX.
Now, here's a question for you. I was actually pondering this. So, Unreal Engine 5, obviously being established.
Yeah.
Well, it's already out, I guess, technically.
Technically, yes.
Technically. I'm sure they're still working with it. But do you think that's kind of like, let me put it in terms of like consoles, where you'll see a little bit of a step back sometimes when you see the jump to a next console? In terms of, some games.
Explain what you mean.
So like Madden, for example.
Yeah.
Whenever Madden jumps to the next generation, like it's like shit before it gets better.
Like it looks better, but the gameplay is like reduced or the modes are reduced, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's those kind of limitations when you get a new engine like that? Because they're trying to...
I would assume so.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like Unreal Engine 4 is something that's been explored, utilized...
Right.
Many times over.
Halo was actually looking to port over to Unreal and ended up not doing it. Yeah, they were.
What are they on?
Their own proprietary thing, I assume.
Okay. I like Unreal Engine.
Jason
it looks so good.
Schreier did like a whole like write up of like here's how Infinite went.
I wish I understood how any of that shit worked.
Yeah.
Clearly I don't. I mean, I'm just rambling about this stuff and everyone's probably like, man, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I don't know if what I'm saying just doesn't make sense. Like, is Unreal Engine 5 just strictly better? It seems to me that like you have a known quantity in Unreal 4.
Right.
It's like an operating system too, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have new features that's supposed to be more modern, more up to date, but I don't know if that always translates exactly perfectly because it's new and kind of unrefined, I guess.
So the cool thing with Unreal 5, the biggest stuff is there, and we could talk for an hour on this thing, but the biggest thing with Unreal 5 is the engine is supporting like much higher level detail of like geometry,
right?
But they're doing it in such a way that you get very detailed stuff that your camera's looking at and that's close to you,
right?
And less and less detail as you go farther away, but still enough detail that it gives you the perception that it's still as detailed. And theoretically, that's
like the
smooth.
old Spyro trick, dude. I mean, to a much higher degree, obviously, but that's what they did back in the days.
Yeah,
you'd obviously, I mean, they're like polygons, but you'd always have your nice polygons in the foreground, but the backdrop would be like shaded, and it would always be cloudy and stuff, right?
The thing that like Unreal was famous for, it's like in Gears of War and everything else, is like the textures would pop in. So you look at like Borderlands, and like you get to something and it's like flat, and then they eventually kind of like fade in depending on how quick your processor or graphics card is. So with this, it should make that a little bit more seamless, so you don't notice it as much.
Well, what they would do, it's like the old Uncharted trick, or even in well, you didn't play it yet, obviously, but the Final Fantasy VII, you'll kind of crawl through a little cubby.
And
as it loads everything, right, to mask that.
That's the
so
thing
Unreal 5 is supposed to kind of, a little bit less of that kind of stuff. They don't need that.
Yeah, it's gonna lessen that. It's gonna bring in ray tracing, but from a system level, not a system level. I'm sorry, a software level. So instead of having to have a dedicated graphics card, now the software can kind of handle it.
So less pressure on your.
That's the theory.
Yeah.
How good it's going to be whenever you compare
it's tough.
But if you and I look at something, in our brains we can tell more or less this lighting looks right or not.
Sure.
Right? Like you just sent me a mod for GTA 5 that looks amazing. A lot of that has to do with the shaders and the lighting, and it just because you can have Minecraft. And the moment you put realistic lighting on it, it looks amazing. Like screw the textures and the actual geometry and modeling. So that's kind of stuff where I don't care about pinpoint accuracy. That's something that NVIDIA is trying to push. Hey, this is pure ray tracing. As long as it gets it close enough, that's all you need. Kind
of fill in the blanks a little bit, right?
Right. And we were just talking about Fortnite, where that's Epic's game. It's Epic's engine. And they're going to port Fortnite over to Unreal 5. Fortnite's going to look incredible.
Yeah.
It already has ray tracing.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see kind of how that goes.
Yeah, it should be really good. And obviously they're going to make sure that does well. Right?
I wonder what the first game to come out with that is. The Gears, we didn't see Gears of War at the Game Awards. I was kind of bummed about that. Microsoft didn't make a huge showing there.
No.
But when you look at Unreal 5, and you're just I wonder if Gears 6 is going to be... Because, you have 4 and 5, which did very well, but they're going to have to wrap up that trilogy.
Right.
What if Gears of War 6 is, Unreal 5, hardcore... this is the best Gears will ever look.
Well, we kind of see that philosophy going into these kinds of huge franchises, right? With something like Halo Infinite coming out.
Yeah.
Where this is kind of end-all, be-all Halo, for lack of better words, right? This should be it's in the title, right? Halo Infinite. This is kind of the Halo of the future, I guess. I don't know. So it seems like they're going more in that direction. So maybe they kind of use that philosophy for Gears.
I would assume too that it's going to be easier to, and I'm totally making this up, but I would assume it's going to be easier to port stuff from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5. Versus something like you were referencing Madden, which I believe the new ones use the Frostbite engine.
Right. Yeah.
And the Frostbite engine wasn't made for that.
No.
So this was just EA being okay, well, we're like Epic. Everyone has to use this engine. Every game we put out has to use this engine. So that's why you pull a lot of that game modes and functionalities and things like that out.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to shoehorn a game that wasn't made for an engine into this engine, and it kind of works, but not really, and it looks good, but for what at what cost?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know I'm rambling, but that.
I think it's really fascinating. I think it's interesting to think about it. It's such a huge part of the game industry,
right?
That a lot of people overlook, and maybe don't appreciate. And dude, I'll be the first one to admit that I don't have a good understanding of it, but I do think it is fascinating and interesting to think about what those.
We're going to see a lot, especially with the pandemic and everything, and people are either starting to learn how to work in this way, where it's everything's remote and whatnot, or things are starting to ease up a little bit with obviously the new variant. Who knows? But it is going to be interesting to see in a year. Obviously games are already being developed, so I can't wait to see what is the first game. Maybe who knows? Maybe it's the Matrix. What is the first game being fully utilized with Unreal 5, which is the most advanced, engine so far, technically.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, and I love when you kind of turn the corner on that, and then you kind of the potential is still there. Sometimes you get these kind of games where we don't have the technology to meet the potential of the game yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't utilize the full potential of it. That's the best place to be, because you'll know that in a couple years when technology catches up, this is going to fucking be awesome.
Look at Star Citizen. They changed their game engine how many times? Because there's always something. There's always going to be something better.
Exactly. So Man, you got scammed on that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that, but yeah.
So rip. Anyways, so back to the Game Awards.
Yeah, we got some other. I just have kind of a list.
So yeah, I guess that was
but
our most exciting thing. Which I guess what I was saying is I don't think the internet mirrored our sentiment. Although Horizon did look fucking awesome. A lot of the same kind of vibes.
Yeah.
But like I'm okay with that.
I'm worried. Like, okay, so you played it recently.
Yeah.
Like, are you ready to jump into another 40-hour Horizon game or 20-hour Horizon game?
When's it come out? Next year?
Next year, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I just it's interesting.
Dude, I feel like games like that don't come around really often. I wish they were a little bit more spaced out because it's like I have Final Fantasy to play now, and Elden Ring's coming out, which I'll probably take a look at because it's so hyped.
Yeah.
So there's like all these things coming out that are very time consuming all at once.
People are super up in Elden Ring, man.
Dude, well, so our friend Zach, who is watching the Game Awards, with us, is very hyped about that, and I knew there was a lot of hype around it. I don't know what it is though. I mean, is it George R.R. Martin? Is it?
No. I think it's just this is the next thing
Dark
from
Souls?
Dark Souls,
Yeah,
Bloodborne, whatever.
I actually didn't know is the creators of Dark Souls or whatever.
Yeah.
Same guys. So I'm probably gonna fucking hate it, but
yeah, there's zero chance that I'll ever beat that game.
Are you gonna play it though?
Yeah, I mean, I played all the other ones.
Well, I hope it's more so. Like the Dark Souls storytelling, I just hate.
Yeah.
Like I want the story spoon fed to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which is so hypocritical because I just went over like how the League lore worked, but
right.
I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, dude, you got to find this napkin, and that'll tell you who the Sun King really is. And then you go over and you find his spoon that he used, and it was like, dude, what? Just fucking tell me what the story is. I mean, I'm probably over exaggerating it, but I don't know, man. It just seems to me like,
I mean, you're not far off. I get what you're saying.
That's how it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what is it? Bloodborne. Everyone loves that game, and like once you get into the background, it's like super crazy and shit, but you have to like go out of your way to look for stuff.
But you have to like that. And
you have to. And some people really like that, which
Yeah.
is fine. That's totally cool. I don't know. I'm a simple man, Tyler. I need someone to tell me a story.
I mean, kind of in the same vein, like Deathloop, which came out this year and was in contention for Game of the Year, and I think Deathloop won Best Narrative. If I'm not mistaken,
yes, it did. I
so
believe.
if you're looking at all that stuff, Deathloop is very much that way, where it's like, you have all of these collectibles you get and all these papers you get, and it's like you jot down these notes and you start piecing things together.
Yeah.
But like you have to spend a lot of time collecting that stuff.
Well, it's like, I played Pyre this year, which is a fantastic game,
right?
And that's not really like that. I don't even have to go out of my way to find the things, but even not having the voice acting and I have to read all the dialogue takes me out of it sometimes.
Right,
like,
and then you have like the book you have to read to just to get all the other backstory.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's a lot of reading, man, and I fucking hate reading. So
see, I like reading, but at that point, I'd rather just read a book than like try
exactly. Well, I mean, I get it. I think some people like that. It's just for me, especially with all the voice. I mean, that Pyre's pretty old, right?
More or less. I think it's like 20, maybe 15 or something like that.
Yeah, so, that kind of makes sense. And Hades was all voice, but like that's the difference, dude. Hades versus Pyre. It's like, man, all of these voice actors are amazing. Like voice acting is so important to me because that's the performance. That is such that's another element to the game that you can. It's like if you were, watching a movie. And I don't know, it's like a silent movie versus like a, real movie.
It's a talkie.
It's a talkie.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
like
no,
the performance
of
the actor is, it's no different to me, I guess.
Well, the thing too is like with something like Hades are these really kind of bite-sized things. So they deliver a couple lines
it's
very well.
It's the same shit as Pyre, kind of, where it's like, you don't get a ton of the dialogue.
Yeah, but there's a lot more dialogue.
There's a lot more in Pyre, so maybe that's a bad example. But still, it's like, it's not like it's not Metal Gear Solid.
It's going to be like Final Fantasy VII versus the remake, where now everyone's voice acted. Now I'm actually going to start hopefully caring about the characters more than I did in the original.
I didn't even consider that because Obviously you weren't as big on Final Fantasy VII as,
Right.
Kyle and myself were. Well, Kyle's even more into it than me. Although I'm really into it. But that's a great point. Like because you played the first one, the original first, and it's all text, and
Right.
and that it gets tiresome because we're not in 1997 anymore.
Yeah.
For me, I came from the remake. I was like, fuck, I need to know what happens next. So I was really, into it. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a different vibe there. But anyways, sorry, I got completely.
No,
I don't even remember what we were talking about. You were talking about best narrative.
Yeah, I was just talking about narrative. I mean, we can keep going. Like,
yeah.
So one of the big one of the big things was Star Wars Eclipse was announced.
Yeah,
not a lot was announced about it. I think Calvin said it was like coming out in like 2024, maybe. I bet it's.
I don't know where
he got that info from.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's from Quantic Dream,
right?
Which is interesting. So that's like I think the last game they did was Detroit Become Human. So it's going to be.
Oh, is that the same studio?
Yeah, and it's weird because it's an action adventure game, and maybe.
Shit! Does that mean it's not? Is it going to be one of those games? Because it's Detroit
Become
Human.
Yeah,
they made Heavy Rain,
right?
And what was that other one?
The one with
something temperature.
Ellen Page.
I forget. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Fahrenheit, something.
Oh, maybe. I don't.
I think it's Fahrenheit something. I'm almost positive about that.
Yes, but I don't think that's Firewatch.
Maybe.
Is that
anyways,
that's completely different person. But
I'll look it up after this. But all those games are the same. I thought.
Beyond Two Souls. Is that right? Beyond Two Souls.
I can't remember.
I don't know. All right.
Well, it's all the same. It's like a narrative experience where you kind of like. You remember the PlayStation Move?
It's
for
a
Heavy
lot.
Rain?
So action game is when I think action game, I'm like or action adventure game, I'm thinking
it's
like
fluid.
Zelda.
Yeah, it's fluid. You have completely control. That game like that is like borderline Telltale.
Yeah. Right.
What's it called? QuickTime.
Yeah.
It's all QuickTime events.
It looked like the trailer looked really
love
good
those
for
games.
what it was. Yeah.
You ever play Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
I really liked that game. I
remember when Heavy Rain first came out and they did like this whole like trailer and it's like, look how realistic this is and stuff. And now you go back and look at it, it's like, it's not super realistic. Like we've come so far even since then,
for sure.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. But at the time it was great. I like the narrative too. But so if that Star Wars game is like that, I would be very intrigued. Although I would rather have like a more traditional action because you always want to do that with lightsabers and shit, right? Like that's the best.
Well, exactly. And if it's going to be something like we were talking about the Telltale Batman game, and
I was asking about
that.
Some
like there's action and it's kind of cool because it's like almost like this methodical. It reminded me of like Sherlock Holmes where he like plots everything out and then
sure.
That's how it's like Telltale handles it, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Quantic Dream game, I don't know how that's going to work. For Star
I've always
Wars.
had a dream for Dungeons and Dragons where it would work like that, where you'd roll your whole combat, and you'd figure out everything that happened, and then it would play like a little clip of everything that happened. That would be impossible. But how cool would that be?
This is a complete tangent, but there was a game that just got released. It was in early access for a while, but it was like fights in small spaces or something like that.
Yeah.
And think the art style of like a Super Hunt. So like everyone's like black and white and stuff.
Right.
But you're in like a small little like room or a small little elevator, and you're like a martial artist, and there's like 4 dudes. And
I think I know
you
what
get
you're
like a bunch
about.
of cards, and you play cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the fight just happens.
I know what you're talking about.
Cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's like stuff
cool
like that's interesting. Yeah.
Are you an Alan Wake fan? Did you ever play the original?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, neither did I. Like a lot of our friends
that's
say
like a horror
Kyle was
game,
saying
right?
it's one of the best games ever made.
Kyle's a coin flip dude. Like sometimes I totally am like on board with what he likes, but other times like I don't get it, man.
I mean, hey, he is varied in his. I mean, honestly, Zach is too with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of interesting because someone like Nate, you kind of get a gist for what he likes most of the time. I mean, he'll throw you a curveball every once in a while, but I can't get a good read on like what Kyle likes.
Kyle is one of those people though that will play a little bit of everything, kind of closer probably to my kind of vein, where like I'll test out just about everything.
Yeah.
Till I feel like I get a good handle on the game.
Dude, I think that's the reason I don't play a ton of shit. I mean, we were going through like everything that I played. It's because if I play it and I don't absolutely hate it, I'm going to finish it.
And I think in reverse, that's the reason why I don't love a lot of things.
Right.
Because I'll play it, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I have a million other things I can try. Like, is this really, really grabbing me? Or am I just kind of like, it's fine?
I'm one of those people. I got to know what happens. Like, I need to know what happens. What am I missing?
It's tough because
I can't tell you how many games or movies or TV shows like I've started. I was like, this is kind of boring, and I just stick it out, man. Like The Office, for example, dude. The Office first season was sucked. And you just stick it out, and then you get to the Chili's episode, you're like, wait, this is fucking funny. And it's just all up from there.
I wonder who loses out more on that, right? So, like, on one hand, I play way more games than you do, theoretically, right? Yep. So I get a lot more different experiences, and I have the potential to hit something that I really love.
Right.
But I feel like you get a lot more enjoyment, like net value out of games than I do. Generally speaking.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely think that.
So it's tough.
I don't know.
We both lose.
Exactly. I don't know who wins in that, right? Like, there's how many games am I missing out that I would really love? But how many games are you not getting the full potential out of it because you're not investing your full energy into it?
Right.
Like Horizon was awesome, dude. If we're talking about best games I've played this year, that's definitely one of them. That was a really cool game. To experience. I really like that world.
In Grandia, of course, like just the classic.
I do. Like you meme on it. Like Grandia was awesome. Like it literally took me back to when I was a kid. I was like, this isn't a great game. This is like early 2000s, but this is like I was sitting on the floor with my PS2 or PS1 or whatever,
Right.
It was awesome. So, yeah.
I
played Persona this year, Persona 4. That came out on Steam earlier this year, I believe, like in February or something.
I'm still debating if you would like Tomb Raider or Shadow of War more.
My friend David, who's asked some questions on the show, really wants me to play Shadow of War because he loves Lord of the Rings.
The more I think about you, the relationships
I think I would like
Shadow
of War more. Yeah.
You know why I brought that up?
Why is that?
Because speaking of Shadow of War, the developers,
they're
making a Wonder Woman game.
Oh, is that them?
That's them. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't catch that.
What do you
when
think
we were
that's going to be like? I mean, kind of just action adventure, right?
I guess the nice thing with Shadow of War is it was very fluid, and it was everything they did was like fun.
I think that game, correct me if I'm wrong, is a very clear an area, check off a box kind of game, right? You can capture forts and stuff. So, like, from my understanding, it's like you kind of clear out a fort, like capture a general or something. Like the orcs have generals and stuff. Is that right?
You don't capture them though. You just
kill them.
You chop their head.
I thought you could like recruit people though.
So I'm sorry, you can.
Oh,
you can.
Okay.
Yeah, and Shadow of War, I think it's even more so. So like they Shadow of War is borderline too big for what it's trying to do. Like you basically beat the game.
Yeah.
And then there's like a whole like management game after.
Oh wow!
Weird. Like you like ascend it. I mean, not to spoil anything, but like you ascend to a certain thing, and then suddenly it's like now. Yeah.
Not to spoil anything, we become God.
Well, no, I mean like you're dude.
I heard they're making a third
Wraith. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
of the game,
no, I didn't
right?
know that.
But the reason why those games are so freaking good is because all the things that would be like annoying or not fun. So like fall damage, nah.
Yeah.
Like travel speed. Like it's just you can just do everything.
Yeah.
It's just it's super, super, super fun.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Although I will say some people are like flip side of that. They love long traveling.
Yeah, no, like
very realistic.
Nate, who wants it to be like super, super realistic.
Yeah, is that that kind of reminds me of like a Fallout sort of thing where you're literally just walking through the wasteland. I know there's fast travel and stuff.
Well, I mean that's Red Dead Redemption 2. Right,
yeah,
like it's a very methodical. Like
honestly, that's kind of Horizon too. There's a lot of you got to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, but there are fast travel systems and things like that. I think with Red Dead, it's a lot like and Horizon is very good, but you're not going to see like a whole bunch of weird little things happening as you travel from point A to point B.
No, right? There's random encounters like
so
Fallout
like
or Red Dead.
That, like Legend of Zelda has a bunch of like hidden things everywhere. Horizon. Not so much.
Yeah, I should play Red Dead, dude.
It's $30 right now.
It scored very highly on our. So Tyler showed me this website. I actually didn't know this exists. What is it called again?
Open Critic.
Yeah, Open Critic.
Yeah,
it just pulls all of the top critics' kind of scores.
The cool thing with that too is if you identify with like specific critics, right?
Yeah.
So like let's say, I really like IGN. but GameSpot just I never agree with their rating.
Yeah.
Whenever you log into OpenCritic, because you can actually log in, you can use like your Steam account
Right.
or whatever. You can literally pick and choose every single publication.
Oh.
So they pull in.
So you can filter.
Yeah, like they'll pull in like some like kind of like not throwing shade, but they pull in like lower people that maybe aren't like IGN level.
Yeah.
And you can either just go for them or uncheck them or something like that.
Yeah.
And it changes the scores a little bit.
Right. So it's just an average of the people that you choose.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's something that rather than it's just Metacritic and it's like here's the score and you just have to deal with it.
Here's what I didn't understand. Sorry to interrupt, but there's kind of two scores there. There's their score and then there's like a recommendation percentage as well. I kind of didn't understand that. Is there like a certain threshold where they would recommend a game, or
it's kind of a weird thing where like the recommendation, to my knowledge, was added for publications that don't actually publish scores.
Yeah.
Right? So if somebody
like the Euro games I saw, it's either like a recommendation
probably
or, no
or maybe it's not as clean as like a 1 to 100, right? Like so like Giant Bomb uses like a 5-star rating and like Eurogame maybe they don't give a score.
Yeah, they did, at least from what they'll give a blurb and they'll say recommended or not recommended.
Yeah, so what I think that
really
score
harsh.
does is like everyone they read the review.
Yeah.
Is it favorable? Is it not favorable?
Right.
And I think it's like one or the other. And then you just average it together.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure on that, but I kind of went down a rabbit hole a little bit. It was like looking up a bunch of games.
Yeah, just curious, see what's going on. I think it goes all the way back to 2014. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. It doesn't go back too far.
Yeah, it's fairly recently.
Fairly recent, yeah. So I was looking up some of that stuff. I don't remember what Remake got. It got like an high 80s.
Yeah, I don't think it hit
Didn't hit that 90.
Yeah.
Sad, dude.
What else we got here? Suicide Squad looked cool. I'm looking forward to that.
I like the idea of that, like you were talking about. I'm kind of interested in the gameplay. I am always extremely skeptical when you talk about any superhero / movie game.
Yeah.
You know, like you've just been burned so many times by that shit.
But it's made by the people that made the Arkham games.
I know.
So like, if anyone's going to do it right, and if it's not a fighting game by the guy like Mortal Kombat and stuff, like it's got it. Like NetherRealm I would say NetherRealm and Rocksteady are the two that I would trust.
Yeah,
100%.
No, it should be good. You know, I'm just always very wary when it comes to that. I guess is what I'd say. But yeah, that looks cool. The Elden Ring looks interesting. Although I don't know if the trailer got me hyped or I was just like, what is happening? Like it seemed like it was like exposition dump. Like.
It was like a new... Yeah.
I was like, what am I listening to?
Like, they were sitting on that trailer for a while, just waiting to hit it.
Man, would I like that game? Like, everything tells me no, but I feel like I have to. And I will say next year, because, we were going over all the games that we played this year and stuff, and all the games. Although this year, there were not, and we'll get into this, there were not many games over 90%. Yeah, there were 2 this year.
Technically 2.
And
2. Really,
one of them is only one. Exactly.
Yeah, because you have.
And I think that would be. I haven't played it yet, and I fully plan on. But I think that would be my game of the year. I'm surprised it wasn't even nominated.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it. But yeah. Sure.
We'll talk about it. Now that's how you do a tease.
It's a little tease.
But anyways, yeah. Next year, I'm really planning on playing more games, trying to get my feet wet with that. Right. It's hard with my league addiction, trying to balance both. But
I mean, the thing that I was thinking of, and it's kind of those things where it's like, 52 games. So our buddy Dave was trying. I think at one point was trying to do 52 games in a year. So like one a week.
That's too much.
I would agree with you. So even doing like one a month, that's 12 games. Like 12 games, like that's pretty good.
Yeah. No, that is good. I think what we need to do. And if anyone has suggestions, leave us a voice message. We need to target games that we really want to play, like the big games. Like I think Elden Ring, definitely. Some of the big hitters that are coming out. And I really like the idea of doing some Game Pass stuff because we both have Game Pass now. Speaking of which, our sponsor this week is
Game Pass. Get it for $1. Game Pass Ultimate for $1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
then... What, 15 after that? 12?
15, yeah. So it's either...
I have the regular one. I have no need for like that extra shit. Like, why would I ever need that?
It performs pretty well. So
I'm sure it does, but like I have no like I'm gonna be sitting at my computer when I play games.
It's meant for if you have an Xbox and a PC, or if you want all the extras. And like Ultimate has a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
But you either pay $120 for the year of Game Pass on just PC, or $180 for the entire year for.
Yeah, I like the 120.
Like
Dude,
Ultimate. Yeah.
Such a great deal, though. You need to play 2 games for it to be worth.
Yeah.
Technically.
Sure.
Full price games. But
I mean, Halo alone, we've sunk plenty of hours in, and we haven't even touched the campaign.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally agree.
Hades is on there. Like we could go all day for that.
All
Hundreds of games.
day. My point is, I think we should really, utilize that along with, some of the targeted things. But anyways, nothing, I guess, really. I think we talked about all of the announcements that came out. That
the only one. I mean, I guess you never saw Senua's Sacrifice before.
No,
which is the one where like they recorded it in a certain way. So you
have
like whispering.
That out on?
It was PC, Xbox.
Oh, everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
I have no idea what they were even talking about.
It was pretty neat. I still want to send you the first trailer they did last year.
Yeah,
E3.
I should watch that.
It was very. Talk about sound design.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty good. But it looked good. I guess really the only other thing, Arc Raiders is one of the last things they showed.
Yeah, that was so cool.
It looked very good. And
it
looks like it was like, hey, do you like I don't know if you know Earth Defense Force.
Yes.
Yeah, just like a bunch of bugs coming in and you shoot them. But it looked like that, but just way better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it looked fantastic. I'm very curious what the gameplay will be like. It just looks like a third-person shooter.
Yeah, it looks squad-based, though. Like, I could see like just a fun arcade shooter thing to do.
Team-based kind of shooter against bots. Like, that's a great time. Like, I mean, say what you will about Back 4 Blood, but there is something to be said about, that kind of genre. It's just like really fun.
It's just dumb. Yeah. Like, just dumb fun. Like,
everything
I think
doesn't have to be
need.
serious, man.
Like, if you're not doing, whatchamacallit, like ranked Halo, this is something that is
dude,
a little bit
Halo
easier.
is pretty good.
I was doing pretty good last night.
You were on top of the scoreboard last night, and I don't know, man. This kind of like feels like Halo's back a little bit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I haven't felt that way in a long time. The last one I played was Halo 4, and man, I was like done. I was like, this sucks now.
You had better options. And I think that Halo came out, it's free to play, which was super smart on their end. Because just kids nowadays, that's what they're used to with like the Fortnites and whatnot. But
I think that's the best business model you can do, man.
Yeah, to an extent. And they've been fixing. So like the cool thing with the Battle Pass is if you get the Battle Pass, you can complete it. Like, it doesn't like end.
Yeah.
And you miss out. Like, if you buy it, you eventually will get everything.
Sure.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But the other half of that would be like, Call of Duty is fine. I actually enjoy Call of Duty.
Vanguard?
Vanguard is not bad.
Interesting.
But
dude, I haven't played
is it as good as Modern Warfare? No. So Call of Duty is okay. Battlefield is probably one of the most disappointing games I've played in recent memory.
Oh, man.
And then you have Halo, where it's just like, oh, okay, like Halo slots in, and it feels different, but it's solid.
It's clean. It's crispy. It's what a good balance of a nice nod to the classic Halo experience with a modern twist and feel and pacing. Because, like, let's be honest. I know that, some people will always say, man, I miss the old days. Man, I want the original Halo back. That kind of feel. But if you're being honest with yourself, dude, I mean, we've literally just beat Halo 1. It is so fucking slow.
The farther we went into Halo 1, the more I was hating Halo 1.
Exactly. And you're like, oh my God, I'm crawling. I'm floating in air. I'm so floaty. It's so slow. It's like, it was clunky, man. And don't get me wrong, Halo 1 is still a masterpiece to this day. Because I kept saying, like, this seems to always happen. Tyler's always very negative. And he's like, oh, man, like, this is so shit. But I'm like, Tyler, this came out in, like, 2001, man. Like, imagine what this was going up against. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Brandy at 2 just came out. And this was out.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
lost on me.
you got to appreciate that kind of aspect for it. But absolutely, like, games have evolved since then. And my point is, I think it strikes a really nice balance with.
It feels very Halo, but I would say largely did everything it needed to do to go into the modern era and get a solid player base.
And speaking of Game Awards, I think there was one, they did some of these like quick awards where it was just fan votes. And this is something I definitely want to get into later on. But I forget what the technical award was, but it was like best, was it ongoing game or...
They had an ongoing game, but I think that was... Actually, I forget which one that was, but
yeah,
they had one
was.
Like best.
Was that
like,
Genshin Impact or something?
It might have been. They had like
Halo won something. Is my point.
Yeah. I can look it up real quick while you.
It was a fan vote one, so I think that that kind of speaks. And I just got the feeling that one won by a significant margin, although they didn't show like the percentages or anything. I just got the feeling that it was like an easy, like we were all sitting there like, oh, Halo's gonna win this,
right?
And it did. So I feel like Halo's in a pretty good spot right now. I think they're doing really neat things with that. Have you heard anything about the campaign at all?
Yeah. I
what
mean,
it's like. So it's more like I don't know if you want me to. It's not a spoiler. Just the feel of it is kind of like a Far Cry kind of feel.
Ish, but it's not as open world.
Not as open, right?
So the thing that, and I haven't heard this analogy, so maybe it's off base, but the way people were describing it, because I have it downloaded, and apparently there's like a high res texture pack you can download too.
Oh,
so I'm very excited for that.
FF15.
So I did that, and the way that people are talking about it is like you have this thing where it kind of gates you. So if you go outside of like the path it wants you to take, more or less, it's like, hey, you're leaving the battlefield, you're gonna die, like that sort of thing. But
it's your commander drawing the pen.
Yeah, just like lines. Letting you know, like
that's a
but
reference.
But
to
the thing is,
previous podcast,
episode 4, something like that.
That's still the best game of all time. That never will be.
But the thing with Halo is like it almost felt like a Gears of War 5 thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you played Gears 5, but you had this like almost hub world, and you would kind of like just ride around, and then you would like you were talking about, like go under a log, and then now you're in a Gears of War.
When you talk hub world, is it like you're still first person? It's still the same.
Yeah.
Because when I think of something like that, I think of like a Fire Emblem. Have you ever played that?
Yeah.
Where you're kind of, or like a Super Mario World,
right?
Where you're kind of running around on the map.
No, this is all Halo.
And then you go into
it's a little bit more seamless than that. So it's like you're going around, you're driving a warthog, whatever. You're shooting some grunts here and there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you actually played Dragon Ball.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Fighter Z? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. They had
kind of walking around as Goku or whatever, your own avatar.
It's not like maybe I shouldn't have said hub world, but
okay.
It's literally you're playing Halo 1, and you think maybe like Halo 1 is like this big ball.
Yeah. Well, Halo 1 is a big ball.
Yeah. It's like that open world, right?
Yeah.
And that one of the biggest criticisms is that's your biome.
Yeah.
Like you're not changing it up.
Right.
So with this, it's like here you have your Halo ring that you're going to.
Yeah.
But then you have all these kind of like mini Halo maps or boards, so to speak, that you kind of like clear out a base, take it over, upgrade your gear and stuff, and move on.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to try it. It's
I am too. I mean, we still need to play through the Halos.
Yeah, I mean,
we have till March though, so
we have till May.
Yeah, dude, nobody told us that Halo 2, when you die on Legendary, if one person dies, you have to restart.
Yeah.
I literally looked that up, and it's literally the whole internet being like, wait, I don't remember this. Wait, I don't remember this. Is this true? But like Reddit was like, wait, is this true? You don't know how many posts on Reddit where it's like, I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, obviously.
And then
that's
Halo,
why it's good.
Halo's the best game of all time. 6969 is like, obviously it was like this. It's always been like this.
Get good, scrub.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be
we had
tough.
some.
We literally made it through the first level. It took us
like
1
hours,
night.
I think. Yeah.
It took us one night to get through the first level, and then we were like, well, we're going to bed, and we have not touched it since.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that file is like 24 gigs of us just dying over and over. It was rough.
There's some content there.
Oh yeah, no, it was
us literally begging
funny.
God, like, please kill this elite man.
You just hear me in the back, like, I think we screwed up. I don't think we can do this.
No, Tyler, no, don't say that. Yeah, so that'll be funny. All right, speaking of Game Awards again, to bring it back.
Yeah,
we have a top 5 this week. Believe it or not.
Yeah, it's kind of like we wanted to talk through games. Obviously,
so we like games. This is a very game-heavy episode.
It's
I hope that's okay
awards,
with everyone.
Right? Like
it is. You have to.
Originally, we were going to talk about the top 5 games this year.
Yes.
Turns out,
not that many.
Not well.
Great games.
There are a lot of games.
Yeah.
We played a decent amount of games, but maybe not.
Nothing that really like, dude, like if you look at last year even.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's some heavy hitters in that.
Well, the weird thing is, so like,
final
and I don't think we mentioned this, but It Takes Two, which was this kind of co-op game, that won Game of the Year, which I'm actually shocked and kind of happy about.
I think they made up for last year. I think they knew that they fucked up last year.
They knew The Last of Us 2 was just not.
Dude, what did it get? What did it get on Open Critic?
Like a 92, something like that.
No way. All right, I'm going to look it up. No, you can look it up.
Yeah,
but dude, Last of Us 2, it was not a good game, man. I'm still... so salty. Maybe I'm just a salty guy.
I mean, The Last of Us Part 2 got a 93.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it that good? It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Voice acting's great.
Well, okay. So
the story's bad.
We'll get there. But the end of the day,
and dude, the gameplay is the same as the first game, and the gameplay was never a strong point in the first game. So not innovating on that at all.
I don't think Naughty Dog, the gunplay and everything. I don't think that's not their forte.
No, but you can do something different.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Hey, man. Whatever.
But to my knowledge, this is the first year that...
You tell me that beats Hades.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
We will get there. To my knowledge, this is the first year that a game that scored under a 90.
Yeah. So, you're telling me that.
Like one Game of the Year. Like, that's how kind of threadbare this year was.
Yeah, and, I was kind of alluding to it earlier, but Forza Horizon 5... was the only game this year on Open Critic, I guess, that got over a 90. So it got a 92, and it wasn't even nominated for Game of the Year, which is surprising.
Technically, the new expansion for Final Fantasy 14 originally hit a 97, and reviews are still coming in. So like the average is dropping a little bit. So I think it's like a 95 today.
Sure.
So that technically
still
counted.
Great.
Yeah, but again,
95 is excellent.
When we're talking about like DLC and stuff, I don't think that counts.
No, I don't think so either.
Remastered, like we want to talk about some rules as we're going. So anyway, let's roll back a little bit.
All right.
What we're going to be doing is we're going to do the top 5 games over 90 on Open Critic, because we had to have some sort of threshold here. Otherwise, there's a lot.
Yeah, originally we were going to do top 5 games for 2021. Found out there aren't a lot of fantastic contenders for that. And then we were going to do top 5 games that we played in 2021, but me and Tyler played a very diverse set of games.
A lot of which were not from 2021.
Right. So we figured, let's kind of split the difference a little bit. Let's,
top 5 games for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Over 90 Metacritic.
Because I wanted to do top 5 Game of the Year winners for the past decade
there's
or something.
Literally only
but
8.
There's right.
Yeah.
But there's also so many different, Game of the Years that are given out. So this is what we decided on. Over 90, last 5 years, we used Open Critic as our template to establish what is considered over 90. And we created a list, and we're going to go through that here. So
Yeah. So I think the best way of doing this, because we already talked about 2021.
Right.
Let's actually go all the way back 5 years ago, before the pandemic, before I got this sexy low voice.
Everything was simpler.
The year after what many people up till 2020 said was one of the worst years of their lives, 2016. Let's go to 2017.
2016 was a bad year.
Oh yeah, like so many like different like actors died and
man.
People were not happy about a lot of stuff. But let's go through 2017.
All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna start listing off some. Let me move this microphone so I can talk and read at the same time.
Okay.
All right. So we have some heavy hitters here.
Absolutely.
We have Super Mario Odyssey.
Great intro title sequence.
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Maybe
never heard of
that.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Persona 5.
I love that game.
Divinity: Original Sin 2.
Fort Joy.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So
best Mario Kart.
I had to put it out there. Speaking of rules, we should take Mario Kart 8 Deluxe off the list.
Yeah, why is that again?
It came out on the Wii U. So, but well before this.
Oh, so it's a re-release?
It's a re-release.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
sure. We can take
I
it
would
off.
call it a remaster. It's not a remake.
Okay.
Remakes count. I would say DLC and remasters do not count, and like definitive editions don't count. That sort of thing.
Okay.
So we're gonna nix Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
Fantastic game.
Love that game.
Dusk. Never played it personally.
I never played it either. Which one is that?
It's like this really low polygon looking, like it's like old school, like
side scroller.
Remember? No, like first person shooter, like a horror game type of thing.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. So
spoiler. That's probably not going to win. Sorry if you like Dusk.
And then Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I know that one.
Hollow Knight's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's 2017. Anything on this list do you think would?
So I obviously know of Super Mario Odyssey. I never played it, but I can definitely respect it. Breath of the Wild. I mean, what else can be said about that one? I believe that was most people's game of the year that year.
Yes, not mine. So Breath of the Wild. I bounced off of it due to performance issues and stamina. You know how we were talking about how good Shadow of War was?
Yeah.
With Breath of the Wild, stamina bars and broken items and stuff like that. It was enough of the annoying stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. You could do that on Shadow of War too.
I guess.
And it was fun.
Persona 5, you know how I feel about the Persona series
Do
already.
you want to put a Persona? We could put Persona 5 on the list.
So you wouldn't put Breath of the Wild on the list?
I would not. So out of these games, again, all of these.
I'm not going to fight for it, but if you don't like it either, then I respect the hell out of it. I guess is all I'll say.
I respect the hell out of it, and if I was playing it on like a modded version on PC, which I technically don't count, where I took away the stamina bar, I wouldn't
count that either.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I want to see what they do with the sequel, but between like everything on that list, I think Hollow Knight's very good. There's another game coming out that's very close to Hollow Knight that we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
I would not put Hollow Knight on the list, but it's, again, very good. And Super Mario Odyssey, for me, I would put on the list because I think that is a pure, joyful game. And I think we've talked about it before.
I can respect that. So I'm okay with that being
the
on the
music,
list.
the movement, and the fact that every world they keep coming up with new, inventive things.
I got really into watching Super Mario Odyssey speedruns for a while, and they're so crazy, dude. Yep. They're so cool.
And it's so
Mario speedruns have always been the best, whether it's 64, original, whatever. Sunshine was a great speedrun. Man, and that I don't know, like. Obviously, it's not something you initially think about when you think about a good game. But to me, when you have things like that, it just goes to show how passionate the fan base is. And you really have something special when, they've literally done everything in the game, I'm sure, 100% of it completely. And now they're creating their own fun, new things. And there's just another element to that game that the creators couldn't even fathom. Right. So... yeah, I just really think, that's not talked about a lot when you talk about these special games. Like, a game that isn't that good, you're not going to have a community that finds all those things, that speedrun. I'm sure there's some people, but not that popular, I guess.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think that's like because those Odyssey speedruns are so crazy. I encourage anyone to look those up. There's like all these different categories. Do you get stars in that one? Or are there keys or something?
There are stars. And you have to
there's
get,
like a
you have
starless
to get so many
run,
to go to the
and
next,
there's like a
which I don't understand
something.
how you can do. And I'm sure that I'm just misremembering, but I
it
thought
might
you had
be
to
like
collect so
the
many
fewest
to
stars
keep going.
possible or something. It's been a long time since I watched those, but there are some crazy skips where you just like it's a short speed run, and it's insane. So
I haven't had a smile on my face, as much as I
mean
did
the
when playing that
soundtrack,
game.
the aesthetic of the game, right?
Yep. It just felt so.
Just watching, what I've seen of it, just really just puts a smile on your face, just very joyful.
So that would be on my list. Is it something?
Yeah, if I had to pick one from this, it's either going to be Persona 5 or Divinity.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I never finished Divinity, but I really love the game. And, not finishing Divinity was kind of an unfortunate circumstance, not because I didn't enjoy the game.
So we'll put Persona, Divinity, and Mario. We'll just
talk in our first round. And
we'll
cut them down.
It down.
Yeah.
So 2017, pretty baller.
Pretty stacked, yeah.
And then we get into 2018. And I would argue 2018 is kind of the big one. With you have Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
You have God of War, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, Forza Horizon 4, which with 5 out, we could probably Nick's 4.
Right.
Also,
although
a very good
you
game.
said that you like the environment of 4 more, right?
No. So I found out that what I was talking about was Australia, which was 3. So
I thought you said that. 4 was like in
4
England.
was England. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you did. You were thinking of Australia.
I was thinking of Australia. So I mixed up my numbers.
Sure,
I like
sure.
4 as a 3.
Okay.
Horizon 3, I should say. Shadow of the Colossus. That's I would consider remake over remaster, but I wouldn't fight for that on the list. Celeste, very fun. Did you see what Celeste was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very fun game.
It was very highly touted, too.
I am very bad at it, but it was a good.
That's
good
the
time.
platform, right?
Yeah.
So, I didn't play it, but I did see a decent amount, not a decent amount of it, but I have seen it.
Right.
So I know what it's about.
Yeah, I
wouldn't fight for it. I don't know. I don't
know
know enough about it, but I respect it for sure.
Tetris Effect, which again I'm not going to fight for it, but it's a very good game.
I don't even. What's the gimmick on that one?
So Tetris Effect, the thing with that, so the gimmicks is a couple gimmicks. One was it actually worked in VR.
Oh, cool.
And the other one was it was like this very, like you were talking about, like this Zen mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Very good music, very good visuals. So you're playing Tetris.
Yeah.
And just the backgrounds and the particle effects and everything.
Okay.
Like it was just like this. It's like if you're gonna play a Tetris game, this is like a Tetris ass Tetris game. Like, and it's very, very good.
Oh, that's cool.
It's neat. Mark of the Ninja remaster. It's a remaster's right in the title. We're gonna nix that one.
Yeah, sure.
Mark of the Ninja. I don't know if you play that yet. Very, very good game.
Yeah.
Everyone should play Mark of the Ninja.
Okay.
It's awesome. And then last one's Monster Hunter World, which I kind of bounced off of.
Yeah, I was never super into that one, so I wouldn't really fight for it. Although I know a lot of people do really enjoy those.
Yeah, and it got good reviews. I think it was like Icewind or Ice World or Ice something, Iceborne, something. I don't know, but their expansion did very well too.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight for it though.
The problem I have with that game is it's not responsive enough for me personally. Like if I'm gonna put that up against something where like, oh, you're fighting bigger monsters, knocking parts you want off of them. Like I'm gonna play Horizon Zero Dawn at that point.
Absolutely.
So anyway, out of that list, anything standing out?
God of War
for you?
has to be there.
God of War.
I know you don't like Red Dead 2, so I guess we're not going to put that on.
How much do you like Red Dead 2 is really the question there.
See, I've always liked GTA more, so I wasn't always big. I mean, I am always the guy who defends Red Dead because I think it's a masterpiece.
Like pushing it through hardcore there, but okay.
I don't think you're gonna allow it, so you might as well just nix it now.
All right, so from 2018, we're gonna move God of War onto the list, and then we can continue.
You have no love for Super Smash Bros., right?
I respect it, and I respect the fact that it's like this is very much in the same vein as like Mario Kart. Like this is the ultimate version.
Exactly. And when you talk at something like, and I was making this kind of comparison yesterday when you're talking about your Fortnite kind of appreciation.
Yeah.
It's in the same vein as Super Smash where you have all these characters from these different IPs and they really blended into the same kind of thing. Like when you have fucking what's his face from Minecraft fighting
Steve.
Mario, like
sure.
Dude, that's awesome. And it doesn't seem crazy out of place. It seems like really cool. I just think that's really awesome what they're doing with that.
When you can say seamless. Like, hey, here's every character we ever put in the game.
Yeah.
And here's more characters. Like that's
always I didn't even play the game and I always looked forward to the character reveals. Because people just freak out and everyone wants to see their person in it and it's just a cool feeling. So I really like that from
they just finished it this year.
Yeah, like Sora was the last character and a lot of people were happy about that. A lot of people were not so happy about that. I always like Kingdom Hearts, so I was like, that's cool. But
some might say it has one of the best title screen soundtracks.
Some might say that. I firmly believe that.
So that's 2018. God of War. We're going to put that on the list. 2019, Slim Pickens. There were 3 on here. I don't even think did you play? Oh, you play a couple of these. Okay, so the 3 on here. Disco Elysium.
Yeah. That got the highest rating.
Yeah, 92. It tied. So we have Disco Elysium. We have Resident Evil 2, and that's the remake version of it.
So this counts?
I would say it counts because
it's so different than the
remake,
original.
Completely
different. Did you ever play the original Resident Evil 2?
No, I did. I had zero. Like I didn't even want to play the remake. And then they put out this demo, and I played the demo, and I'm just like, this is pretty
You actually
fun.
have a video of you playing the demo.
I do, where I get scared.
Awesome.
And
it's awesome.
It's real dumb. Yeah.
But yeah, the original. So I actually played the original Resident Evil 2, dude. And I remember it clear as day. My friend was a big Resident Evil fan, and we're playing it on his PS2. I think it was PS2. And man, we were like shitting ourselves, dude. It was so scary. But it is very different than the original.
I hate games that will always chase you, right? So Resident Evil 2, like for me, part of the reason why I liked Resident Evil 2 is like, I don't care if a zombie jumps out at me. I'll shoot the zombie. It's like, oh, it's scary, whatever. That's fine. But if I can't explore freely and do that, or if there's always that like presence, I don't like that. So I found out like eventually like, oh, after a certain story point, you can go back. And once I found that out, then I got really into to Resident Evil 2. But out of those three, personally, Resident Evil 2 is...
Totally agree.
That'd be on my list.
Totally agree. Although, you know, always respect to the Souls-like games. So I know Sekiro...
Yeah, Sekiro was fun. Sekiro was interesting because that felt better than any other Souls-like game I've played.
Yeah, I've heard that if you're trying to get into a Souls-like game, that's really the, you know, best one.
It felt good until I got to, like, the second or third boss.
Okay.
And then I'm fighting them, and I'm just like, this is, like, nowhere near the difficulty that everything else was. So, like, I felt like I wasn't truly prepared for it, and it was just hard to be hard.
Yeah.
And that was kind of annoying.
Well, welcome to Dark Souls.
Exactly. And I can't fault them for that. But that was really good. Disco Elysium, special shout out there. I think you would like that just from a story perspective.
Sure.
But again, it's very, like, you got to read. It's slow.
I wasn't... I don't know too much about that, so I'll defer to your judgment.
They did such a great job with your subconscious talking. So, like, it would be like, oh, you're just kind of like, you have these thoughts to yourself and thinking to yourself, and these different emotions are voiced almost like you have a bunch of people living in your head, basically.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job with that. So it's I don't know, it's worth checking out. It's fun. They actually did a remaster where like everything's voice acted, everything. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah, they went pretty hard
really
on it.
Cool.
Okay,
not as hard as Halo 2.
Not as hard as Halo 2.
Dude, Halo 2 is amazing.
It is one of the best looking CG.
It looks like a fucking movie.
Yeah, it's very good.
A movie.
It's all about the lighting. I'm telling you, like, it is all about the lighting.
It is really all about the lighting.
It is.
Sorry. I was thinking of Sergeant Johnson, man. He looks so good.
So you know how I said 2018 was really good? Let's talk about 2019, because now I might roll back on 2018. I'm sorry, 2020. Yes. 2019 was kind of poop. There wasn't a lot of.
Not poop.
I shouldn't even say that, because
2021 was kind of
great.
actually poop.
The problem and this is the thing to call out too.
Yeah,
we're missing a ton of fantastic games that all just got 89s. Like,
exactly.
Right there.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Ever heard of that? Like, I got an 89.
Oh, what got an 89 that you really love? Ah, man, I can't remember. I thought it was Mario Kart, but apparently not. It was something else.
No, I had to grease some palms, get Mario Kart up there
grease
a little bit.
Grease some palms. Yeah, there's something in 89 that it just.
Oh, I'm
barely,
sure there's plenty. There's tons of them.
Barely.
All right, so 2020, the pandemic starts.
Yeah.
And these are the games that come out in 2020.
Yeah.
Hades.
Never heard of it.
Ouch.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no,
love that game.
One of the
love.
Some might say one of the best games ever made.
You like Zagreus as a main character?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I typically don't like main characters.
I know you hate main characters.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny. Most people really don't like main characters. There's this kind of thing where
they're just a vessel.
The side character is because there's a couple of components that you have to have. And I'm completely ruining this. So just going off.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
There's a couple of components that you have to have with the main character, like you're saying. They're a vessel to have the story continue forward. So you're getting a lot of the same tropes and things like that. So you kind of get more of an exploration and more kind of flaws and more interesting quirks with side characters that you can explore. So they're usually like the best. Like the main character's best friend is usually like the coolest character. It seems like a lot of the time, but
or the worst character.
Zagreus is really cool. I like, and that one's kind of interesting because you don't have a party in that one, so you're kind of on your own. I mean, you have a lot of people that help you out. Like, not a
lot of people talk about it.
I like Achilles. He's really cool.
But with Hades, a lot of that comes down to you making all of those choices. Like, you're giving gifts to, like Achilles and everyone.
Who'd you give all your gifts to?
I was macking on Meg for
Dude, I started and I was like, nah, dude, fuck
Medusa?
this bitch. Yeah. She was so nice.
Lady. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a weird relationship to get into, but...
Did you give your dad one? Like, you give Zeus, or not Zeus,
Hades?
Hades one? Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, he's like, what is this? I don't want this.
Well, I gave Cerberus a bunch.
Yeah.
Because he's the best boy.
Yep.
And her and Achilles was cool. But you have to be careful because I didn't want to fuck, like, these guys. I was like, you're my buddy, man.
Sure.
I wish there was a little bit of an option there where you'd be like, hey, man, I don't want to put my penis in you.
But the beauty is, like, you are making those choices. So, it's still kind of like an extension of you. Like, you're forming Zagreus how you want him to
you
be.
can literally go through the game without talking to anyone, right?
Right,
like,
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with like Shepherd and stuff.
But you can give gifts to the gods. Like, really cool. Yeah, I think the way they did it, and we're macking hard on this one, but I mean, Hades is a fantastic game, and it should have won Game of the Year.
I agree. So Hades, you played Persona 5 Royale?
Yeah.
This
is an interesting one that I wanted your take on. So it's Persona 5, but there's a huge, they add a lot of features. They add a lot of story to it. There's a whole new character that's involved. So the Persona games do this a lot, where they'll come out with the regular version, and then they come out with. So in Persona 4 is Persona 4 Golden, and this one's Persona 5 Royal.
Maybe this isn't making so.
So if I were to put one of the two,
it's Royal. But
it's Royal. If I had to pick one of the two, Royal's obviously the superior version.
But Royal wouldn't count then, because that would just be like that's like the Game of the Year version of Persona 5.
I get like
Nier Automata came out and they remade that 12 times.
Yeah,
you know
they don't remake. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, in Persona games, you have the original come out, and then you have like the final cut come out. Like, this is the actual version of it.
Yeah, but
so if you don't want to count that one, that's fine. But it is the superior version, and it's better than.
I would count just Persona 5. So whenever I put that on the list, I was thinking the one of like the Strikers.
No, not Strikers.
Yeah, that's my
definitely
bad.
not that one.
All right, so we're gonna knock that off the list. If Mario Kart 8 doesn't get on there, that's
I was fine with putting Mario Kart 8 on.
Yeah, but I feel bad about that. It I think Mario Kart 8 added so much stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It's so like the intended version, so I don't know why it's getting punished for that.
Because it's not a new game. I think is really how it boils down.
My contention is there's enough in it where this is a new game. There's a whole third act that's put in there. Like, the story continues.
Do you think that hits? Okay, so
you can take it off. I'm just saying there's an argument to be made that it's. I don't know. It's
okay.
I don't know if it's a different game, but it's such an extension or it's such a replacement. So you can take it off, but that game's awesome.
Okay.
Love that game.
No, I mean that's
fucking love that game.
Know. That's only on PlayStation though, still, right? Like, it's all just
that one's only on PlayStation still. The 4 came out on Steam this year, which was a big deal. That did really well, I think.
Here's a game. The Last of Us Part 2.
Fucking love this game.
Yeah.
Abby's the best character I've ever seen in my life.
I
love when they kill Joel right off the bat.
Right.
I think it's such a bold call.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Star Wars Episode 8 when Rian Johnson has the bold vision of completely just tampering with your expectations.
Right.
You think you know who Rey's parents are? You have theories on that? Fuck you. Her parents are no one. Luke Skywalker, great guy,
subverting expectations.
Turns on the dark side there. Kind of controls his rage with that. Forgave his father, the most evil guy in the galaxy. Fuck you. Tries to kill his nephew in the middle of the night, defenseless. Like, love that call. Love that movie, and that just reminds me of Last of Us Part 2. Willing to be bold for bold's sake. I love that. I love how you get to this climax point with Ellie.
Yeah.
And, it's just so awesome. Like, oh, man, I fucking hate Abby. She killed my favorite character in the game.
Right.
And you're about to kill this bitch. And then, no, I get to play 8 hours as Abby. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just love...
It lets you really understand like what Abby was going through.
Abby was going through, like, she went through a lot. She killed my favorite character.
Yeah.
And she went through a lot. And I was spoon fed, like, I like Abby soup.
Yeah.
And it tasted great, and I loved it every second of it. Yeah. And then we get to the climax of the entire game, and neither of them kill each other, and they leave. And it's
just
awesome.
Happily ever after.
I just think it's the greatest game of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bold. It's exciting. It's the greatest game of all time, and it should be on the list.
All right. Cool. We'll put it on the list here.
And by on the list, I mean in a dumpster.
Okay. I feel like you were monologuing for so long. People might be like, maybe he's serious?
I fucking hate that game, dude.
I know you do. Okay.
Like, I know it's not a bad game. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, it looks too good. It's too well acted to be a bad game. But the fucking masterpiece, because, okay, so here's what happened. I'm sorry, dude. I'm just taking over. I don't give a shit.
It's interesting that a game you hate so much, you're going to spend more time on than...
Exactly. Well, maybe this is what they want. But the thing is, what happened was people had such an adverse reaction to it.
Yeah.
They were like, this is the worst game ever, which, okay, it's not the worst game ever. It's a solid game, which makes the other side, give it way too much credit. Like, no, it's a masterpiece. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Where in reality, it's somewhere in the middle, guys.
Yeah,
and
it's a solid
I think we
89.
could take that theory and apply it to a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
But I just at the end of the day, if you critically sit down and look at the storytelling, it is not as good as the first one. The best parts in that game are the flashbacks you get with Joel and Ellie, because that's like the whole first game, man. And
see, me personally, I disagree with that. I actually felt more connected to this one than the first one.
Yeah, but that's because you're heartless and you.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but that's just me. Like,
no, that's fine.
I understand where you're coming from.
Understand. There's a different perspective on it. Would you consider it a masterpiece though? I don't think you considered either of them masterpieces, honestly.
I consider it a masterpiece in storytelling. I think it made me feel something.
Do you think it should be on this consideration?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because to me, this list is our top 5 games.
No, but would it be on yours?
No.
Okay. Well, that's the answer. I don't want you to, just because of my hatred.
I think it's valid. This is our list. Yeah. So, like, it's
no,
valid.
because, I'm going to put the things I like on there, and then we'll duke it out.
Yeah.
So, if you feel like it should be on there, we can duke it out.
I don't want that on there. I think that it does some things masterfully.
I don't think it's above I don't think it's above a 90. Let me tell you that.
I think it's a solid 80. Yeah.
It's in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to put in the 80s. I just don't think it belongs in the same conversation as Hades. I don't think it belongs in the same conversation of Half-Life Alyx, actually. Game,
that's the next one.
Yeah, that game was great.
Game. Yeah.
Best VR game ever made, easily.
Oh, that's...
easily the best VR game ever made.
I think from a game-ass game,
because it bridges that gap. Like, we've had Beat Saber, which is great.
Yeah.
We've had... Super Hot was really good, right?
The problem I have with Half-Life Alyx, don't get me wrong, it was great.
Yeah.
To get the most out of it, you have to have very specific controllers. So if you don't have the newest Vive with the newest controllers, you're missing some stuff.
Very, very specific, yeah.
And it didn't do anything, I would argue, new. But what it did was it let you interact with just about everything, which was novel at the time, right? Like, it was just so polished.
Yeah.
That was what it was good for.
I guess my contention for that one is that's the first bridge I've seen between VR and like video game, like actual video games.
You're going to sit in there and play it for hours.
Up until that game, VR was always just a different kind of class.
It was like a snack thing. It was almost like mobile gaming in the way that you play it until you're
cute.
just kind of
it was
bored.
Cute.
Yeah.
Right? It was a cute thing.
Yeah.
But this was like, oh no, this is a video game. This is a narrative. I can interact. Like, this is the bridge. This is the first step.
You could push your system to be like they had settings, but it was like, no, we're going max on this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that first scene when you're and you get to look around. Like I mean, that's like the future.
All VR needs to do is you have to interact with everything in the environment.
And they did that so well. Right. Yeah.
They went back and they were like, oh, we thought the liquid in bottles could look better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks
You got to give Valve credit, man. Yeah. They really care.
It's funny. I have a guy coming tomorrow, or like around noon or something, to buy my Vive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like my Gen 1, $200, whopping $200.
So I don't know if I put it on there. I think it deserves a lot of respect, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it on, but it has a 93 on OpenCritic. It's very good.
Yeah. All right, Demon's Souls next.
Demon's Souls remake, not for me. I guess
I respect people who like that. Not for me either, though.
Looks great.
Yeah.
I would say one of the best looking games on PS5.
Yeah,
again, lighting
so
goes a long way.
Lighting,
but,
yeah.
Microsoft Flight Simulator. How do you feel about that?
Easy.
You put it on.
It's a benchmark. Planes, air, flying. I never played it. It does look pretty, though.
Would you fight for it? No? Okay. All right.
I will say, though, dude, I was actually really curious because they were showcasing that at the Microsoft show, and I was like, I kind of want to play this, like to see, because I have a pretty good rig. I want to see how good it can look, and like I said, it is a benchmark.
Are you being serious about wanting to play it? Because I have a flight stick I can just give you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll give you a flight stick before you go home. All right.
Why do you have a fucking flight stick? It's
actually,
on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, why do I have a flight stick? I think it was, Kyle and I were getting into, crap, what was it? Some space sim thing.
Cool. I don't remember.
Yeah, it'll come to me eventually.
All right, so we got Crusader Kings 3.
Yep, never played that one.
What is that?
It's like a RTS-ish thing, I believe. It's almost like RTS, like Civ.
Yeah, I can't put it on, but I'm kind of interested in looking what that is. And I'll let you speak to the last three.
The last three. Well, so let's take care of Dreams. That was on PlayStation exclusive. I don't have PlayStation, never played it. I respect it that people could make literally anything in that game.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the other two, Animal Crossing New Horizons, I would put that on my list.
Okay.
Especially, and we've talked about this at length.
Right.
Pandemic came out you could not have a more perfect time for this game to come out.
Right.
Which
period. Is a big thing.
And then the other one, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. So that's on Game Pass. I just finished it.
I should play that.
I cried. So here's the thing, and I know I always tell you to skip like the first game and play the second
play the first game.
You don't have to, but you
watch
need
video
to.
on it?
I would watch a video on it.
I can watch a video. I like watching videos.
Yeah, like the first game.
How many hours are we talking?
So I'm not sure. Like I beat it 100% the first game.
I see.
So like I probably put
it must
20
be
hours
very good if you 100% the first game and still continued on to the second game.
Yeah, well the first game, so it's Metroidvania, and it's one of those things like, go and collect all of these. It's painting the map as you go and collecting everything.
So
that's very me. Yeah, it's me.
But what I'm saying is, like, even with Mass Effect 1, you 100%, you're like, I'm good.
Well, I beat Ori in the Blind Forest like years ago.
Oh, I see.
So there's enough gap there.
Sure.
But Will of the Wisp was very good. I didn't 100% that one, but I will say, as far as Blind Forest goes, at the end of the game, it was one of these like, and everybody lives happily ever after, kumbaya.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, it was a nice, pretty bow.
Right.
Will of the Wisps, I think I told where I'm just like, I was like tearing up. I'm like, I was not ready for it. I would say Will of the Wisps was a lot more like realistic.
Yeah.
In like today's like it's like, this would actually probably be what happened here,
right?
Rather than just like this Disney like, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Yeah, right.
But man, I was not ready for it. It was very good though.
That's the toughest one when you're not ready for it.
The funny thing is, I know we talked about Hollow Knight in 2017.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is why I wouldn't necessarily fight for Ori to be on the list, just because you never played it, and Ori is.
I've seen. Well, I haven't seen a lot of it, but I have seen it.
Ori is gorgeous.
Yeah,
great music.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very good, but a lot of the cool things it does are iterations of Hollow Knight. When I say iterations, that might even be generous. Like, a lot of this stuff is like, oh yeah, Hollow Knight was doing this type of thing. Sure. So that's why I'm like, do I not get points? No, but it's like you just did it in a very polished way.
Right.
I don't know. They like almost like appled it, where it's like Apple waits till the end and then like comes out with the same thing, but just does it better.
Okay. Okay.
Animal Crossing, though, I would want to fight for that.
Go for it, man.
All right.
It's so popular, man. Like, everyone was playing that.
I'm slowly losing my voice, so we're going to try to
yeah, no, absolutely. So we talked about 2021.
2021, the only two on there, for Forza Horizon 5, and then Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker, which none of us played Final Fantasy 14.
No.
Kudos to that, because the past
really
3 or 4
right?
expansions are just amazing on it. Not going to be on our list, but Forza Horizon 5... Do you want to fight for that on the list?
See, I haven't played it yet, but I know I'm going to love it. So
it's very good. Like, it's fun. I haven't gotten, the only knock I have against it is, so far I'm not thrilled with Mexico compared to Australia.
I see.
But people say that it opens up biome wise and things like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's how much do you want to?
I probably won't, but I'm gonna have a lot of fun. My steering wheel is coming in pretty soon, and it's gonna be a good time.
I hope your desk handles it, but it'll be.
Well, I'm gonna have. I hope I can turn down the vibrations because my desk is gonna snap in half. All right, so run through what we got here.
All right, so we have Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
We have Persona 5.
Yeah.
Divinity Original Sin 2. Mm-hmm. God of War.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2.
Yep.
Hades.
Yep.
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yep.
Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, you did put it on. Okay.
I think it's worth talking about.
Sure.
And if at worst case it's an easy cut and we can feel good about ourselves.
Based on what you just said, I think you can agree with me that God of War is easy on there.
I think God of War is a lock. I think Hades is a lock.
I think Hades is a lock.
How do you feel? It's very tough. So here's my thing. Out of okay, so we have 2 locks, right?
Yeah.
Three open spots.
Yeah.
Out of everything on this list, I think just for sheer number of hours I put into that game, like I put something like 250 hours into Animal Crossing already. Probably over that. Like I feel like I have to.
If I was being unbiased, I would think the next lock would be Super Mario Odyssey.
I would not.
When you get a 97 across the board, you have something.
Super Mario Odyssey technically has 1 point higher than Breath of the Wild,
which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Nintendo had a very good.
Would you put that as Game of the Year over Breath of the Wild?
Absolutely. Not even.
Yeah, like you personally, I guess. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people would argue that you on that, but yeah, Nintendo did have a good year that year, right?
Yeah.
But I'm okay with Animal Crossing on the list. Like I said, so popular, right time, right place, right time. Not for me, but definitely see the appeal.
I mean, we have 3 open spots. Well, the way I was figuring it is like if I can kind of like sneak Animal Crossing on, like I'll give you a freebie, and then maybe we talk about a last one.
I think. Well, this isn't my freebie, but I think Super Mario should be on there.
Okay,
that's my
we'll
kind of opinion on that.
So right now, then we have Super Mario, God of War, Hades, Animal Crossing. It's 4.
Yeah, so 1 left.
One left. So it's Persona 5.
Yeah.
Divinity Original Sin, Forza 5. If you haven't played Forza 5, maybe that's an easy cut.
Yeah, it's probably an easy cut. It's one of those games, like, I know I'm going to fucking love it. Yeah. So, I could put it on there because, like, there's no, like, I'm a car guy. I have a nice PC now, dude. It's going to look fantastic. I have a steering wheel. Like, I've invested $300 for this game.
I should hope you like it. I mean, I think you will. I don't even think
like, I got the steering wheel with the pedals, the stick shift.
Yep. You went all out.
All out. Like, this is the Logitech 3 whatever.
I will tell you, my flight stick is not all out. It's just
that's okay.
It's
I don't even know if I'll take it, dude. Like I say, I'm going to play, but we just talked about all the games I have to play. So like,
honestly,
not even gonna get to it.
Playing Flight Simulator, I think an Xbox controller just.
Oh really?
I think it's better.
Oh really?
Than the flight stick I have.
Well, yeah, we've been playing flying games with controllers since we were.
They did a very good job mapping everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so. My favorite game out of those is Persona.
So Persona 5, Divinity Original Sin 2, and Resident Evil 2. Those are your options.
Resident Evil 2. Yeah. So oh man. Looking at the scores here real quick to see like what's up. So actually Divinity Original Sin 2 and Persona 5 got better averages than Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 like might have been game of the year that year though. I know it was definitely
in talks. Yeah.
In a lot of places.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's as good as those other games? Oh man. Like I have a lot of respect for it. Like that was like that game came out and I was like, dude, it is like we are in the era of remakes, dude. Like the remakes are going to take over and they're like really getting these right. Oh,
I don't like horror and I'm not trying to sway or fight for Resident Evil.
No, exactly. I think you're exactly right.
I don't like horror games and I was like, this is a very good game.
You were very high on
I very much liked it, yeah.
So I would assume you would pick that one if it was up to you, correct?
Oh man, that's tough. So I'm actually going to be straight with you. I like all 3 of those.
Really?
To be on that list.
I thought you don't like Persona.
So Persona was a wrong place, wrong time type of thing for me. I was an idiot and put a time limit on like, okay, I have to play this. But what I played for Persona, I thought it was an easy combat system, and apparently that changes a little bit.
Sure.
But if the combat system was more interesting, like maybe a Grandia 2.
Sure.
I would have liked it because I like the loop of the time stuff. But like again, time and this constant thing hanging over your head.
Yeah.
That makes me anxious, generally speaking.
I see. So Persona is so good.
And I think Divinity is so just well done. The studio is fantastic.
Yeah,
like that whole thing is a masterpiece.
Yeah, so my thoughts on this. I think Persona is fantastic. Like one of the best JRPG series, obviously, and like to the modern day, kind of taking a fresh take on that. So many hours you can pour into the game. Like I played Persona 4 and I think I have like 80 hours in it, and I literally just beat it. Like I didn't even do all the extra shit.
Yeah.
So like that's an easy 100, 150 plus hours.
That's a
And
lot.
Persona 5 is even longer. And it's like such good content. You know, very great narrative and all your relationships you establish, and I'm a sucker for all that shit.
Yeah.
I love Mass Effect. And so that's my favorite game out of all those.
The Persona?
Yeah, it's so stylish too, dude.
Yeah.
So much style. Ooze's style. Soundtrack's amazing. Like one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. Like
let's put it on. I mean, that's
But what I will say, just to speak out the other two, I think Divinity is like an amazing RPG. I think what they do with that is, fantastic. I love that studio.
Yeah.
I love the feel of the game. Unfortunately, it was like kind of a bad taste. Not as bad as you, though. I actually still really like the game, and I really wish that at some point we go back and finish it.
Bad taste being like we played hardcore mode. We kept
Yeah,
playing
it
the
was
same
just like
intro
you picked
over
the
and
wrong
over.
class, and things just didn't line up with everyone we were playing with, and we were playing on hardcore and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I still contend the hardcore mode is the most fun because like you just have the most on the line. You really have to be strategic and think, because you can't die. So it's not like, yes, it's going to take longer, but it's not like it's going to take longer because we're bashing our head against the wall. It's going to take longer because we have to like sit here and strategize. Like I don't like bashing my head against the wall, but
So you're not saying play it on the hardest difficulty. You're saying hardcore.
It has to be the hardest difficulty. That's the die
okay.
and you restart. That's the only one. So it has to be the hardest difficulty. But
Yeah, it seems
I like that though for that. Because it's not like Dark Souls, I'm dying, I win. It's shit. We're gonna die and lose everything. Like, okay, this has gotten way off topic. Not really, but what we should do is just one more shot. And if we die, it's over.
Yeah.
But that's like the most. I love that. I love it.
I see. If it was something like that, like I could wrap my head around it. Like if we were doing, so we just played.
We get a party of 4.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're going to give this game one more chance. And put it on hardcore. If we die, it's over. We just give up.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be. We're not supposed to see the end of this game. That's what we should do.
We don't make it out of Fort Joy.
No, absolutely not. Well, we have to, dude. If we're playing with Nate, he's got that memorized.
Oh yeah, I guess he does put.
We would never lose
our
that.
cheat code.
He is a cheat code.
Yeah.
All right, put Persona on there. I love that game too much.
All right, Persona 5.
I respect the hell out of the other two, but like you said, it's our list, and I'm being a little selfish.
All right, so we have Super Mario Odyssey, Persona 5, God of War, Hades, Animal Crossing, New Horizons.
So our research department was really worried that this list was going to be like very similar to the IGN bracket, but that seems a little different. Like God of War's,
Well, we limited ours to only 5, and we weren't putting up like ridiculous matchups.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty crazy. Like you have Tetris going against Red Dead 2 or something. Like, how do you compare these games?
Yeah. So I
so
feel
it's a little different. I understand where he was coming from for sure.
I'm looking at this as something, I think this is a fun thing. So what I would like to do is, okay, we always do 5 years. We always do above 90.
Yeah.
And then the next time
every year, or we do this like that way down the line?
I'm just saying like the next time we do a game of the year, whatever, and like whatever title we give this, we just do 2016 to,
see how it shifts every
2011.
year. Yeah.
Which like Skyrim's going to be on it, like something like that. Like that, I think that would be
Skyrim.
No, 2011 is when Skyrim came out. It's like 11.
Wait, what are you saying? Oh, we do 2016 to 2011.
Yeah. I think that'd be kind of fun. So,
but OpenCritic doesn't go back that far.
What's that?
OpenCritic doesn't go back that far.
Then I mean we can start looking elsewhere. But I think if we do something like that, then eventually what you do is you take all the winners and then you do top 5 of the winners. I think that'd be cool.
Okay, so we have Persona 5, we have God of War, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons, we have
I'm okay
Super Mario
putting
Odyssey.
Animal Crossing at 5. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
Because you never played it.
No.
And I feel like as much as I like that game, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's sweet.
As much as I like that game, the thing that's sticking in my head about it right now is the expansion, which doesn't count.
Sure.
So I'm
no,
fine
it's still a great
5.
game, and it was at the height in its original form. So
yeah, it just to kind of level set too, like. It did enough to frustrate that. Like, people were coming out with videos saying, like, hey, here's all these quality of life changes.
Yeah.
And people got, like, jacked. Like, they were super, super happy about it until they realized it wasn't Nintendo.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so that at 5.
Animal Crossing at 5.
I think Persona at 4. I think that's, it's pretty clear.
I'm good with Super Mario at 3.
Super Mario at 3. Okay. Yeah, seems pretty solid.
Okay. Are you sure? Did I just like sneak that in there? And
what do you think at 2?
So I think God of War at 2.
Wow, that's where we disagree hard.
Yeah,
that's where we disagree
hard.
hard.
I figured we would.
So, now that I think about it, Hades beat Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh,
for me it does.
No, for me too. I mean, I don't think that's a question. If it beats it for you, then why are we even having that conversation?
Because Super Mario Odyssey
is.
I don't know if it's a better game than Super Mario Odyssey. That's what I'm saying.
Hades?
Yeah.
I
don't think that's clear cut. I am fine putting it at 3, but I don't think it's a easy walk in the park. Like, so Hades is a superior game to Super Mario Odyssey.
I guess my thing with this, and I guess technically Hades lends itself to this, but I beat Hades and immediately started another run, which technically you're supposed to. That's the whole point.
Technically, Super Mario Odyssey is the highest score on this.
Yeah.
Which has no bearing to our list, but it is.
Well, so Super Mario Odyssey,
that's going to be one of the highest scoring games of all time. 97?
It's up there with like the Grand Theft Autos and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Grand Theft Auto 5, 97, bitch.
Yeah. So
get fucked.
So my thing with Super Mario Odyssey, I technically beat it, and then there's like an after game.
Yeah.
Never. Like, I was like, once I
Super
beat it,
yeah,
I was
sure,
good.
Sure,
and I just dropped it. And I sold it.
Hades, Hades is design. I mean, I don't think
it is, but that's I'm not
because
saying,
you beat it. You were probably like 2 hours into it.
No, I put
4 hours. I mean, it's nothing crazy.
I mean, then I'm just
the
bad
time
at the
you
game,
beat it for the first time.
Yeah, beating Hades.
Yeah,
you
dude.
beat that in 4 hours.
I forget. I don't think it was that long because I got the bow and I was like, okay, I'm just using the bow.
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't really touch the bow until late. And then I was like,
that was
a
big thing for me because I was horrible with the sword.
Yeah.
And then the bow is the second item that you get.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe you like pick. I'm always a bow guy.
Yeah.
Like I've actually found that out. If you asked Kid John, like, what weapon do you want? It would always be sword, shield, double-handed sword, great axe. Like, let's fucking go. Like, you even look in Skyrim, like the first time I played Skyrim, it was like, I think I did sword and board or like great sword. I think I actually
Skyrim,
did
I'm always like sneaky Khajiit.
Then sneaky archer.
Yeah.
Best build.
Yeah.
All time. Always go straight to the Thieves Guild, run through that.
Go to school, put a little book on your controller, sneak, get to level 100.
Yeah,
for sure.
So Sneaky Archer is the best. Ever since then, it's always been bow.
Yeah.
Horizon, nothing but the bow. Hades, nothing but the bow. Love it.
Tomb Raider to love. Yeah.
Tomb Raider, nothing but the bow. And the Shadow of War. You get a fucking spirit bow or something.
You get Shadow of War does a very good job with
all the weapons
giving you a bunch of weapons, but Shadow of War is very I played it very stealth. I don't think you have to do it that way, but I definitely went down
like
the
something
stealth
like Far
path
Cry,
first.
I'd always do stealth.
Yeah.
And that's why I really liked Far Cry 4. Where they had like those fortresses and there was like multiple ways you could get in. Like sometimes there was like a tunnel, you could go up through the well. Sometimes you just drive a truck through the front door. Sometimes there's like ways you can
Shadow of War does a good job where it's like you go around and it's the classic like kill everyone you can.
Yeah.
And then eventually someone sees you and then you just
you can't completely go stealth?
You could.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, there are some, I know we're getting off topic, but there are some like main like orc guys.
Yeah.
And when you finally look at them, you can see all their different stats and like what they're good at and stuff. Sometimes they'll be like, cannot be stealth killed. So if you try to stealth them,
I see.
You like hit them with like a lot of
That's
damage.
like in Assassin's Creed, like the old ones where
yeah,
the captains you couldn't stealth or something.
I still think Odyssey might. That's tough. Odyssey might be better than both Tomb Raider and Shadow of War.
Dude, you're way too high on Odyssey. I'm sorry. You're way too high on Odyssey. Odyssey's not even better than Brotherhood.
Yeah, I think it is.
All right. So 3 is Super Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
I think 2's Hades, man. I think God of War is too good. The narrative's too good. The visuals are too good.
Yeah.
Voice acting, story, gameplay. I mean, how fun is that gameplay? Like jaw-dropping moments. I mean, we're talking about the first fight in the game, the cutscene.
Yeah. No, like
what am I watching?
And God of War is coming out to PC in January.
And it's not a fair fight. Like the budget, like compare the budgets to the 2 games.
Right.
It's not a fair fight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the New York Yankees are going to win because they can spend more money than you. Like, I'm sorry,
At
but
the
that's
end of
just
the
how
day,
it works.
I want to play Hades now versus God of War.
Okay, yes, the replayability is better on Hades, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward more to the continuation of God of War's story than I am of Hades.
Oh, for sure, but that's like an apples oranges thing.
How? It's part of the game.
No.
The story's okay, so let me put it in a different light.
Okay.
The story sticks with you more in God of War than Hades does.
Yeah. So yes, but
like Hades' narrative is very creative.
Hades' overarching narrative, I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's very one note.
Yeah.
But the relationships you get in Hades, I feel are better than God of War.
No, I disagree. Kratos and his son.
It's good. It's very good, but it's
like
one.
phenomenal.
It's one relationship.
Doesn't matter. It's better.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I love
Like
both games. I'm not gonna
I
fight
felt
you hard
more
on it.
with that than I did in any of the relationships in Hades. Not to say that the relationships in Hades aren't good; they're fantastic.
Yeah.
But dude, I've never seen a father-son dynamic like that before in a video game. Like that was special. And
Yeah.
Kratos, like this guy, what a revival of a series.
Right. Yeah, I'll
I
give
mean,
you
come
that,
on,
for
that's
sure.
a 180. No one expected this.
Well, you look at the
character
big,
development.
Like you look at the big 3, right? You have Kratos, you have Master Chief, and you have Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah.
And that's the 3 that I always think of.
Yeah.
And they're all getting these kind of like deeper character like
But
building
Kratos
things too.
wins out of all 3 of those easily.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
Marcus
is a
is
close
pretty
second.
good.
Yeah.
Marcus is pretty good.
I would argue Marcus had a
I would
better
argue
dynamic than
Master Chief's
Kratos.
more or less the same.
Yeah, but
I would say.
from what I get, and granted, I haven't played it, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
From what I gather with Infinite, he
starts crying.
he's a little bit different now. Now he's a
Okay.
little bit more lost and stuff, and,
Sure.
and that's where you get the building in. But
Sure.
I will give you God of War at 1. I'm not
I-
going to fight for that. That's fine.
I really did. I mean, dude, you were literally saying a couple weeks ago, like, this might be
Yes.
the best game ever made.
Yes.
Like, actually in
And-
contention.
And I started specifically for this talk.
Yeah.
I started looking at because I knew it was going to be between these two for me,
Yeah.
and I was looking at all the Hades stuff, and I was looking at all the God of War stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, and this is where we differ, and this will always
Yeah.
be the case.
Yeah.
You're coming at it from a story angle, a character building angle, and like acting and stuff like that. And I put a higher price on the game. Again, God of War is great gameplay.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy the Hades gameplay loop more.
I
That's
can see
where
where you're
I'm
coming from with that because every run's different. You have to think on your feet. It's like a lot of RNG for the abilities.
Like God of
you
War
can choose
has
all these different weapons, which completely
Yeah.
drastically change your playstyle. So yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from with that. Where God of War is a little bit more one note. You do get different weapons though. Like, dude, when you get the Chaos Blades,
Yeah,
there
for
again,
sure.
that scene. If you didn't have chills during that scene,
you have kind of like almost the like the maze thing.
Yeah.
I spent
Yeah.
a good,
Right.
good bit of time in like grinding away in
Yeah.
there. It's just grinding away in there was a chore.
Yeah.
Versus grinding away in Hades, where I'm like, oh, one more run,
One more
run,
run,
and like
yeah.
to
You
me
get
that
these
will
small
always
hits of-
gameplay will always trump.
And I love
for me.
how they tell the story in Hades, though, because I am very story focused. That is
Yeah.
my primary thing that I love. When you go to the Colosseum with I forget his name, You know, the
say,
bull
like,
and
Artemis
the champion.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I wanted to say Hercules, but it's obviously not Hercules.
No.
You know, it's like, the devil's back or something. And you just establish this rapport with that guy. You're like, what a douchebag.
Well, like even go back.
People start chanting your name after a while. It's just small things like that, man. It's so awesome. It's like, you just feel like
it's the experimentation and stuff. And like God of War has, to a point, some experimenting, but at some point you're just like, and maybe on harder difficulties, you're forced a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I know what works. I memorized this combo. I'm going to use this combo over and over again. I love God of War. Again, don't get me wrong. But in terms of Hades, you can craft it differently. Like you have your dailies, you have like constant upgrades. You could take out all the story stuff. Do I think Hades would be like a much lesser game? Yes.
Yeah.
But I still love that gameplay loop. And then when you layer on that novel, hey, we expect you to lose, and then we're going to acknowledge it and somehow bake it into the story in a very
I love that.
Progressive way. It's
awesome. You lose to your father and you come back and Hades isn't there. And he's like, I still must be up. And like, it's fantastic. It's just, they thought of everything. And
so
I totally agree.
Again, for me, I would put Hades first, but
I just don't think I can do it in good conscience. Like I give you a lot of things, but like I think God of War is just that.
It's very good. We're gonna play it again in January, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something that I cannot wait to see in a solid like 60 frame. You know, like that might even be that much better. But there are enough things that I can remember in God of War that were chores or just like, I'm just doing this to do it.
Yeah, and I think, that's just kind of because you were 100%ing it as well.
Yeah.
Like, I am not a 100%er.
I
get this story done and I'm kind of done.
But this goes back against what we were just saying.
Exactly.
Where, like, I never finish games, but when I love a game, I will 100%
have to do everything.
So I did that with Ori. I did that with God of War. I did it with Horizon.
Yeah,
like stuff like that.
I finish all the games, but it's just the story. And
but you still finish.
It's apples oranges. So
That all being said, all right. So we're gonna chisel this down.
Okay. So number 5, New Horizons.
Yes.
Which is Animal Crossing's New Horizons. Number 4, Persona 5.
Correct.
Which I'm very happy we made the list. Number 3, bronze medal, Super Mario Odyssey.
Some might say the highest ranked on the list.
It is the highest ranked. I just think you have to respect it. Number 2, silver, Hades. It's close.
We disagree, but Hades.
We disagree. I gave you mushrooms. You're giving me number 1, gold medal, God of War. 2018.
Surprised that Calvin's going to just roll his eyes and be like, but he knew that.
Yeah, but Hades made it pretty far in the IGN bracket, but Super Mario Odyssey didn't. Persona 5
no, right.
didn't.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely. It says something. I think
Animal
whenever I go back
it's different
and I play
enough.
God of War, I'm
I
sure
think it's different enough.
I'll remember more of it. But.
I felt like we had to do something Game Awards related, and I think we accomplished that. So, with that being said,
do you want to pull us out? I know I brought us in.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, man. You've never done it before.
I know.
You've never done it before.
All right. So, hey, everyone.
Oh, I love it.
I'm going to get a little closer. You should go online. We have couchcompany.games. So that's our top 5 lists, our YouTube, our Twitter, any way you could possibly want to contact us. So I'm actually going to put our Discord in there. So you want to come in and talk about why Hades was a better choice. I'm more than happy to entertain that idea.
Why artichokes belong on pizzas.
All of it.
Happy to explain that.
Charizard's everything.
I love Charizard.
Come say hi. Leave us comments, voicemails, everything. But until next time, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time on the couch.